Well, today marks 3 weeks since the Colorado mom was last seen, and while police continue to look for clues and search for Kelsey Berreth, the family insists they're running off without warning. It's just not like her. She wouldn't do that. It's not in her character. It was November 22nd, Thanksgiving Day, that Kelsey was last seen on surveillance video, and there it is. It's at a Safeway grocery store. Her fiance, the father of the baby, Patrick Frazee, says he last saw her when he went to pick up their daughter at Kelsey's home. Well, now Kelsey's mom is speaking out, telling NBC News that when she and Kelsey last spoke, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, and she knows there's still information out there about her daughter's disappearance.
What did you talk about that day?
Always just small things. And initially, she needed a recipe.
Based on that conversation, there was nothing to make you believe there was anything wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, her voice was fine. It was a normal day for her. I still know somebody knows where she's at. Somebody has seen her. There's more information out there. Somebody just needs to realize, to recognize, and to say something.
Joining me now to talk about this, Bob Bianchi. He's host with Law and Crime Network and a former prosecutor, Morris County, New Jersey, also a criminal defense attorney. Can hit this on a lot of different angles. Big question, I think, for many is what's the relationship here between Kelsey and the fiance and father of the baby, Patrick Frazee. Kelsey's mom talked about that on the Today Show. Let's give it a listen. We'll get your take coming out, Bob.
The relationship has been good. They're loving.
Quick, to the point there. What questions do you have about the relationship?
Well, I mean, we want to know whether or not there's something that's going on in this relationship. Obviously, he's going to be a person of interest. Anybody in that situation would be. From what we understand, the mom's saying that they had a loving relationship, and he has been fully cooperating with law enforcement to the full tilt. He's given DNA samples. He's given his cell phone over. He's been cooperating with them in every way, shape, and form. So, you know, they're going to be looking at the data download and the data dump to see whether or not she eventually wound up in Idaho. Was he involved? Was his phone moving in those directions? Where was he at the time of the disappearance? Mike, the only thing that's surprising to me is that she was gone for a number of days, and he never had done anything about that. It'll be interesting to see from the electronic data whether he was texting her, whether he was reaching out for her. So that's an important fact that the police will be looking into.
No, for sure. And you said it, it's worth reiterating. He is cooperating. He's not a suspect. But I think a lot of our viewers go, wait a minute, it's Thanksgiving. This isn't just a Thursday. It's one of the biggest holidays of the year. And you are engaged. You have a child together. Isn't that a base question? Even as an investigator, why aren't you guys together? What's going on here?
Yeah, sure. They're going to be looking for all the victimology data, if you will, from her side and his side. They're going to be crawling through that relationship, wondering the very questions you're asking. Unfortunately, we don't have that data right now, but he is not a suspect in the case. That could obviously change. We just don't know right now, Mike. And unfortunately, from my radar, having handled missing persons cases, this is a long time out right now, and she's not the kind of person, based on what we understand from the family and friends, that would just drop off the face of the earth, and a mom who would just leave her daughter behind. Something doesn't sound right to me.
You know, you touched on, really, there was a statement issued by Patrick Frazee's attorney. In it, you know, he reiterates how cooperative his client has been, and you touched on, you know, what we could be looking at as potential evidence here, or at least things that investigators are looking at. Cooperating, released his phone for a search, and also doing cheek swabs for DNA. Let's hit on that one. What are they looking for there?
Well, they're just trying to get a profile right now. So if they find her someplace, or if there's some DNA that if in fact he may have committed a crime, obviously they're looking at him as a person of interest. That does not mean he did this. I would be doing the very same thing. You go to all the typical suspects, but now they have all this data from him so that down the road, if they need it investigatively, it's there, and they don't have to get search warrants to get it.
Again, missing 3 weeks now. Bob, thanks again. Appreciate it.
You got it, Mike.